hot with all the screen.
Get the fuck out. This is the Eric Tries Too Hard podcast, episode 136. We'll name it something, probably something from this episode. I hear all the cool podcasts are doing that, so I think that's what we'll do. For those of you who haven't listened in a while, the podcast is back and going back to our comic hang format, just talking about this, that, and bullshit and what we've been up to, and the topics of today. That's important.
Yes, topics of today.
Of course, yeah.
What's important in our world.
Yeah, which that you'll hear about in 4 days when I post this. So today I got two esteemed guests. I'll just introduce them one by one real quick, and then we'll just, talk some shit. So with me via video screen, Mr. Kyle Erf from the Hard Times fame and stand-up comedian from New York. How are you doing?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for staying up and patiently waiting my delays for the podcast while me and Mike finished. Can we call them spots? Can we just stop calling open mics mics? Can we just call them spots and feel better?
Oh,
about
sick!
ourselves?
You guys had some gigs tonight.
Spots.
Yeah, we had some gigs.
Some spots. Yeah, I gotta get to a
we
show.
were hanging out in the green room. We're chewing on the complimentary food service that they provided, and we said to ourselves, it would be fun is to do a podcast tonight.
Yeah, that. Actually, what we said was, fuck you, shut up, stop interrupting my set. Please pay attention to me. I love you. Why don't you love me back? Yeah. This isn't about you guys. Yeah. I'm sorry. And left.
Well, yeah, more or less.
That's my set.
I feel like I gave him gist.
You gave him, yeah, you did. Dude, let's do that. That's what we should do.
Famous Sweetheart?
No, that's what we already do. Okay. What we have to do is we have to glamorize these open mics. Like, we do. We need to,
it's called lying.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, for us. Because, playing in bands, there would be all these bands that would talk all sorts of shit, at the shows where they'd go, this is actually the band's table. This is our merch area. This is our eating area. Right. But, these were just regular tables, that weren't occupied by people because no one was at the show.
You should try and sell merch at an open mic. That actually sounds...
Dude,
spring shirts.
What the fuck?
I'm sure you could.
That's hilarious. God damn it. That's the best open mic bit I've ever heard.
That would be a good bit. Just a lot of dedication. I don't know if
I had a note somewhere in my phone that was if I have so many notes of if you're bombing, because that's what I prepare for, just nothing else. When you're bombing, one was at the very end just offer to sell merch or something. I got something in the back. And it's so depressing. God damn, merch tables are depressing. It's just people walking by trying to not make eye contact with you.
The panhandlers of shows.
Pretty much, yeah. God, that's ugh. Anyway, also we have, speaking of ugh, we have Mike Moran. Moran. Yep. In person in my house, in my basement, in my spare bedroom.
Yep. Can you believe that Mike Moran is in your spare bedroom?
I can't.
Wow.
This must be a dream come true for you.
It was, and you know where I had that dream? Right here.
Yeah.
Right here, guest bed.
You grew up with posters of me on your wall.
You were 6 years older than me.
Yeah.
Now it'd be really creepy because Kyle's younger if we had pictures of him.
Oh God.
What if we just sold posters of ourselves?
But not doing comedy stuff, just doing other things. Ironing.
No, I want it to be really cool looking, like Mike Moran.
like a new metal band's.
Or he's a poster I would have had in my bedroom. You know what I mean? And I'm looking really cool.
It's like us in the pose from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Well, see, I think that would be funny and creative. I think this would just be
this needs to be.
Just skulls.
Hey.
If you guys, before I ask you about your room posters, because holy shit, I can't wait to ask about that. Have you guys ever been to? They have a decent Twitter following, but very small Facebook. They're called the motherfucking Share Zone.
I've seen.
If you have not been to that,
yeah.
Holy shit, he's not impressed. If you have not been to that, it's just the Share Zone. I assume motherfucking because that was in all of their things.
It's
literally
It's like DA share and then zone spelled with a 0.
Oh, fuck. See, that is my favorite. I used to name my bands or have songs or whatever. Wait, what did I? Zona? To Share Zone. Stuff that would just piss people off when they were Googling. But I stopped because I had no balls. But
what are you talking about?
I don't know.
Like, that what it would just be like.
There it is. No, it's the motherfucking Share Zone on Facebook. Maybe just Share Zone was taken.
See, I already don't like it because it's called
Twitter.
Dumb Motherfucking.
But that's the joke. It's nothing but pictures of like flaming skulls, like half naked women banging serpents, and then they just transpose the most ridiculous, like ironic, dumb phrasings over it. God, that sounded great. Anyway, doesn't matter. Go to the motherfucking Share Zone. That's our sponsor for this plug. Go in and enter coupon code Eric Tries Too Hard. So just put it in the comments of one of their posts, and you'll get 10% off of Sweet Memes. Mike, that bit failed. What posters did you have on the wall?
Well, the funniest ones were like the ones that my sisters passed on to me. So
like when they died?
No, when they got too old for
instinct.
Like I had a George Michael one on my wall of like him like on a motorcycle or something. I had In Excess.
Holy shit!
Yes.
Yeah. I liked all these groups. Like I watched their music videos and I liked all of it. It's not like it's not like I was a poser in second grade.
Yeah, sure.
But it was just funny because they were like kind of sexy, you know, but I'd still put them on my wall. I had a U2 one. And I remember they were going to pass on their Kirk Cameron poster to me.
Kirk Cameron?
And I was very excited to put it on my wall. Until like I think my cool older friend was like, don't put that on your wall, dude.
What vehicle was he posing with?
He was not. He was dressed in some nice stonewashed jeans, I remember. He had his hands very coolly. Remember like the cool guy thing was to put your thumbs in your pockets and let. Yeah, he did that, and he had a nice little smile on that angel face of his.
So you just kept that one in your closet?
I don't think I put it up. They had a Swayze one, too, that I considered. And I remember my sisters had a Cure poster in the room, and it said The Cure, and I thought it said The Crew, and I thought it was Motley Crue.
You thought The Cure was Motley Crue?
Yeah. And I remember, like, thinking, like, you know, what's his name? Robert Johnson?
Robert Smith?
Robert Smith. I was like, yeah, he kind of looks like the guy from Motley Crue, but like, where's the blonde-haired guy?
Dude, I love the idea that you finally saw like a picture of Motley Crue. You're like, who are these like losers?
No, that's the weird thing though. Is like I was like, yeah, those are the same guys because they were like kind of gothy, you know, like except for the lead singer, they were like all black hair, like eyeliner and shit, you know.
Holy shit, that's terrifying. Fucking. What that that beats the shit out of my. I had some Korn posters. I had three.
I had those older. When I was in high school, I had Korn posters.
I think I guess second grade I had nothing on my walls. I did once. This is my embarrassing.
But in my defense, that was like pre-stardom Korn.
Oh, you were cool.
Yeah, I liked their first album.
I like the album like Child Predator on the cover.
Yeah.
You were like,
and I still kind of think that album rules. I'm sorry to interrupt you, though. Continue.
No, I didn't.
Dude, no. Well, my to bounce off that, Jesus Christ, my Elliott Smith embarrassing thing. When I was probably in high school, I knew a lot about like punk music, and hip hop, but nothing else. And someone like all my friends who were in punk were getting into like 80s shit, and they were like, "Oh, do you know the Smiths?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I know the Smiths." I was like, I was like Elliott Smith, Robert Smith. I just thought every like emo guy with the last name of Smith, that was the Smiths.
Oh my
god! And I like
that kind of makes sense. Like you gotta know the big Smiths of emo.
But it's like that's my poserdom where it's just like I straight up just fucking lied.
Dude, you want to hear the most embarrassing story? To this day, I absolutely cringe when I
don't sell it too hard, but yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
It was the opposite of yours, where I knew it was too much rock nerdiness.
So I was fucking this chick, right? So embarrassing.
These kids on the bus in high school were discussing youth. They were having a political discussion about euthanasia, and I honestly didn't know that term existed outside of the Megadeth album Euthanasia.
Oh man!
And I chimed in with like Megadeth knowledge. And the worst part was they actually knew they knew of that album, so they knew what an idiot I was. Like they weren't just like, "What are you talking about?" Like,
Oh no.
So that's the dumbest thing. That's the stupidest thing I think I've ever said, and it's to this day, like, it's hard to talk about.
I thought you were going to make that shitty youth in Asia joke, and I was going to ask you to tell us about Ladasha next.
I'll get it.
Oh, y'all don't know Ladasha? Okay, wait. I want to hold on.
Ladasha?
Yeah, it's the joke that everybody pretends is their own. It's the this baby was. I worked at a hospital.
Yeah. Or like her name was Orange Jello.
What is what is the deal with those urban like?
I'm glad you said legends after urban. Like, Jesus Christ!
What is the deal with those urban people? Yeah. like
Seinfeld.
I'm sorry to keep talking so much. I'll give you guys more time to talk.
No, that's the whole point of this.
That's like one of those urban legends where like everyone swears that they actually know someone. Like the Shahid, like the shithead. Yeah. Everybody I know swears that actually, like, they actually knew someone.
Because everyone's a fucking liar who thinks they're funny, and that's their thing. Where they're like, no one's heard this shit.
No, but people say it actually happened to them.
I know. I think they're lying.
You just need
one.
I
think they're willing to steal
sociopath, and that'll like kick off the cycle again. It's like, oh yeah, my friend like never lies.
Right. Dude, anyone who opens with "I never lie," you're like, all right, well, you're gonna lie to me 1,000 times in this conversation. Like, Kyle, what posters were in your room?
I'm not gonna lie to you.
I didn't have. I had pretty sparse walls. The first poster I got was when I was like prepubescent, and my dad was like, "You can get a poster," and that was somehow a big thing. It was like the poster store, this like local chain called Hastings, and I picked out a picture of this like wall made out of eyeballs because I thought that would be like cool and edgy. This was like before like it was kicking off puberty, so it was like I didn't like girls yet, but I like hated everything. So I was just like, yeah, people are gonna see this and think it was brutal, and then in high school, people just thought I was a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, fair. You had eyeballs on your wall.
After that, I had that Pulp Fiction poster where they're just both pointing the guns. I was just a piece of garbage.
Did you have you had the college posters when you were in high school?
Yeah, I had the college posters, and I was pretty advanced. I was always pretty advanced for my age.
The Pink Floyd, like naked women with the Pink Floyd covers.
Dude, I love that idea of I'm mature for my age, but you're 12, so you just act like a shithead 16-year-old.
I'm really decorating my room at a 14th grade level.
Yeah.
Dude, you said your dad got you a poster as like a pre-puberty present? You got an erection, he's like, here's a billboard.
They celebrate the males versioning into a young man. The poster.
You mean burgeoning, or did you say virgin?
I said virgining.
Is virgining a word?
Burgeoning.
Oh, okay. They said virgin. I was like, that's on the nose. That's exactly what that is. Yeah. Dude, sweet. Well, Kyle, talking about goth, you took... Okay, I don't understand what it was, so I'm going to need you to explain this. All I know is, this is why you're my favorite, hands down one of my favorite people to follow on Facebook, is that you will... You posted a series of like, you just posted this thing one day. You're like, what kind of, I think I'm gonna go goth. What goth should I be? And you kicked off so many statuses about goth stuff. And then you went on a trip to visit, I assume, rocks. It was a lot of rocks. But then you made them all goth themed pictures. This took place over like 2 weeks in my mind anyway.
Well, first of all, is it a bit? I don't know. That's how far past like the threshold I am with my life. I don't know. I wanted to go goth since like middle school. So I'm just channeling. I said that on a bus once with my friend Jonathan. I was like, so I'm thinking of going goth. And he just like, he thought I was joking. And I just never did. So this is just me channeling my truth. So I've been posting a lot on Facebook about like, I need more information about becoming goth.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It's like, what kind of goth should I be? And like some people are being really helpful and supportive. Other people have seemingly gotten. I don't understand how people could get mad at this because just like unfollow me if it's really hurting you that much. But I've gotten at least 3 messages from people being like, cut this shit out, or like either shit or like just shit or get off the pot, like, but these things take time. I don't want to like go cyber goth and then spend $200 on like goggles and a wig and then realize I don't like it. So
rent first.
It's an ongoing thing. I was between jobs, so I went to Utah in the desert just to like hike around for a bit for a week. and just sort of to clear my head and figure out what kind of goth I should be. And
God damn it,
we all had that moment.
Yeah, and so, I feel like I need to post, I have some really telling pictures. I saw some things in those rocks. I haven't posted those yet. You check it out.
Dude, it's just pictures of rocks, and he's just like, some non sequitur about goth philosophy question. It's fucking great.
Well, it's like, we were talking about the Cure earlier, and I was in Arches National Park, and if you go, there's like the Delicate Arch, and I feel like all the members of the Cure were kind of intertwined in that.
Of course.
So maybe. I don't know. That's just where I'm at.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
So that's my
You thought about spaghetti goth?
I never see, this is how I don't even know. What is that?
I don't know. I just made it up.
Oh.
It seems like it should be.
Spaghetti.
Maybe it'd be like Italian goth.
Dude, this is not
spaghetti goth.
Western.
That's like when you get squid ink sauce.
No, I want to hear some more spaghetti.
How about
goth.
stutter goth?
I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah, you just like
That's really good.
Stutter goth. Dude,
bio goth.
what the fuck is a bio goth?
I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
You gotta, yeah. I want to hear Italian goth. Would it be a mobster goth?
Yeah, he'd be like, hey, what?
You're gonna sleep
Why
with
am
the.
I heart so black? You know,
You're gonna sleep with the sirens.
Oh
That's
my
a
God.
new gothic band called Sleeping with Sirens. You wouldn't get that because you only know.
You're falling from grace over here.
I have so much to learn.
Yeah, apparently you do.
Yeah.
I had no idea it went this deep.
Hey, now's the winter of my discontent, such if you know say.
Oh yeah, what? Because they read horrible shit.
I don't know.
No, I figured you were gonna quote some Bukowski.
Nevermore, you know.
Yeah. Man in Berlin, love it.
That's it. No, that's you got Little Lily in Baltimore. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was gonna try to do a Ravens Italian goth.
Little Italy is not far from.
No, that wasn't gonna work. Oh, so okay.
So sometimes you get a Raven, sometimes you don't.
Although, no. I'm bad at this. So I want to talk about something that's. Oh, so Kyle writes for the Hard Times along with me.
Nice.
And we with all this fake news shit, I wanted to get your take on this, Kyle. With all the fake news crackdown shit, has there been a point where you've been worried? I mean, I'm not anymore, but at the heat of it, about the Hard Times getting if Facebook were to crack down or actually do what they should be doing, would we be caught up in that? Yeah, in some way. I feel like you go to court, you argue whatever, but I don't understand how the law works anymore. I used to think we had these kind of constitutional rights that I'm a little worried about losing now. And by the way, just that one, just parody and satire. I don't give a fuck about anything else. Yeah. I mean, it's really hard because the issue is a lot of these fake news, these what I'm going to call real fake news sites. They do claim to be satire. Not all of them, but some of them do, and that puts you in a weird position where it's well, you can't just self-identify. So I don't know. I was really scared for a while. I mean, yeah. You went to the desert. You fucking dipped out. I was just you're getting a whole identity. You're gonna look completely different. Yeah. But yeah. Well, no,
Were you scared of getting swatted?
No, I want to hear what. I'm sorry.
Getting swatted.
Yeah. You don't have to say it again.
With a SWAT team.
Yeah, a SWAT team person.
Yeah. Oh. That is a nightmare I have.
Holy shit, that would be terrifying.
Dude, there's videos of people while it's happening, on their computer, holy fuck.
Dude, there was a point where I have a neighbor who blatantly sell. Well, I don't know if he does it anymore, but he was openly selling drugs on the stoop. My neighborhood is this quaint suburban thing with one house with one kid who thinks he's a thug. And he'll him and his friends will throw dice on their fucking on their stoop.
Oh my God.
And if you zoomed in, if it was a movie, you zoom in, and it looks like the inner city. But then you zoom, and because he's mean mugging people, knucking at people. But if it were a movie, you would zoom out and see that all the people they're gardening, just like walking their dogs, and it's just one dude who's a piece of shit. But I used to get so scared because he he has parked in front of my driveway. We called the whatever people, the homeowners, and they gave him a ticket. And then he moved his car, and he like made some vague, threatening remarks. So for a while, I was worried, and I used to talk about it on the podcast every week to keep a record so that there would be a possible witness. And I was like, and all like Sergio, who this comic who I'd have on, he was like every week on the pod, he'd just be like, I hope so badly that guy busts in right there, murders you, and I get famous.
Yeah, you are in like the perfect SWAT pose with like the door behind you.
Yeah, dude. Oh, that's actually because it's open. So with the fake news thing, that was kind of a new development. But like one thing I'd heard a lot about, I started to get worried, was like the death of irony. Because like I think the hardest part of this is not a hot take by any means. I'm just repeating it for the sake of the context. But like the reason it's so hard to write Trump jokes is because nobody's funnier than Trump. Like,
yeah.
Even, and by the way, I don't even mean full on like ironic funny. I mean like the dude roasts the fuck out of people.
He does.
And he knows what he's doing. Like, so it's hard to like make a joke about grabbing by the pussy when grabbing by the pussy is the funniest joke I've ever heard. Like, I don't, but with the death, I know there was a whole big concern over now with fake news and with this, like a lot of alt-right, or not just alt-right, but a lot of even like extreme left, where people are cracking down on words and people are, I don't know, it's hard to be ironic in either direction because then people just think you're that. Or if people will be inspired by that, not realizing it's fake. Like you had Dave Chappelle quit his own show because he was getting concerned he was furthering racism. Colbert stayed strong. But like, I don't know, I feel like this is actually more the rebirth of irony because if anything, and this is what I'm hoping happens from extreme right and extreme left, is that we'll kind of like, especially with extreme left stuff, that maybe when a lot of this super PC like idea policing goes away, we'll at least have them shifted to a more like core liberal like belief system. Like, I'm not PC, but like I don't say slurs. I don't feel like that's that difficult,
I think we just need a good rebrand around just like I've stopped saying politically correct and I've just like started framing it as human decency. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
we've definitely lost that word.
Wait, did you have was that you tonight? Somebody did a bit about
political correctness.
Yeah, was that yours?
Bigotry.
Oh, was that yours? Yeah, that's great.
I don't really have much of a bit around it though. It's just like a couple of tweets that I try to connect to another bit.
Yeah. I do like, but I love that though. It's like, because I've heard that idea a million times, but summarized just like that. Political correctness. Sorry, am I burning one of your bits?
No,
for
it's
200
not even
people?
a bit yet. I'm still working on it.
Yeah, I thought I had more in that topic. That's okay. Oh, dude, Kyle. So you have been I assume running, or maybe at least just co-hosting. You tell me. The Hard Times stand-up shows in New York.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's me and Jeremy Hammond.
Yeah, I have not had him on. I don't believe. I need to.
You totally should.
To him, he's very funny. So how did that come up? This is my only, I promise, like interview type question because I like legit want to know how did that come about, and tell me about like how the first show went, and how it's been going since then.
Yeah, of course. It came about. It was interesting because like when I first, like a little over a year ago, got on as a contributor at the Hard Times, one of my first thoughts was like, because I don't know, in stand-up you're kind of always thinking about that hustle, which is a weird word coming out of my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
But like that hustle, and I was kind of thinking like, oh, like this is kind of a cool thing. Like I wonder, like people like this, like maybe someday I could do a show branded with it, or like who knows what opportunities will come out of that. And then I've known Jeremy Hammond for like 2.5 years now, just through the scene. Like when I got into the Hard Times, I didn't realize he was a contributor also.
Oh wow, that's cool.
So it was like a weird surprise. And we were just talking once, and it seemed like an idea we both wanted to do. We initially were like pitching Matt like some video ideas that we didn't end up producing.
Dude, I've sent him so many like sketch scripts. Yeah.
I mean, so we were doing that, and then we just like eventually reached out at the end of last year, like, hey, let's just finally do it. Like I feel like we've gained enough goodwill over the past year.
Yeah.
And so we did that.
Nice.
The first show was like,
it's in Brooklyn, right?
It was in Brooklyn. It was at this venue called the Experiment Comedy Gallery, which some stuff around that I'll get to in a second. And it's a perfect, like, it was sort of like the perfect space to have a kind of like DIY. It was a very DIY space, a very, very DIY space in this basement under this like restaurant.
You built it. Yeah.
It was like, I mean, so spoiler alert, after our second show, the venue got shut down. Because it was probably the most dangerous place I've ever performed.
A fire hazard.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know why everyone's all concerned about that.
Underground. Yeah, there's this underground.
Fires never fucking happen though, do they?
No,
yeah, I know about that one, but that's one in a billion.
The one. It was also just kind of honestly like really shitty. Like it was It was a basement with one entrance, and it's like two stages inside. One entrance, low ceilings, no sprinklers,
just a fucking pit.
One exit, and even then it was like
several fire pits.
Yeah,
raging at all times.
I mean, it was
just
like
the fire. Ignore that.
It was probably like 85 degree, like, because there's no way for air to escape. So like, if you're doing a show, it gets like 85 degrees in there. Anyway, backing up from the venue. The first show was good. We just booked a couple, like the most like punk comedians we knew like personally.
I was gonna ask if they were like of the punk persuasion or if they were just like comics you knew.
We're trying to keep it very like punk or like sort of alternative focused.
Awesome. Nice.
So,
and is that like where you gear the material on or towards like those kind of topics as well, or do you just do your normal stuff?
Oh, okay, yeah. So the format of the show, I should have went with this. So it starts up. It's just like
He should.
Me and Jeremy are hosting. We just like riff for a bit at the top, and then it's like comedians, and then also trivia challenges. So there's like trivia games with the comics, and they're playing for. It's kind of like, wait, don't tell me, where like the comics are playing for a prize for someone in the audience. So we got some people who donate, like some sponsors, like this place Vinyl Fantasy donated a bunch of stuff.
Oh, that's a sick name.
Which is like 90. Yeah, it's a great place. It's like 90% stuff they clearly just are like never gonna sell, and then 10% like some really cool stuff. Like we gave away a vinyl pressing of Run the Jewels 2, which was awesome. That was at our last show, and a specials patch. Hey, so we write jokes. They're like jokey questions. Pretty much, people always get them right, which is good because we don't want to carry around the prize bags.
Name the members of the Smiths. Oh,
well, they're all supposed to be like very weird and dumb questions. I can't really recall any. Our biggest recurring segment is this segment called Benghazi, which is given a list of 5 songs. Name which ones are by Ben Folds or Fugazi.
Nice.
Brick.
Yeah. So. Something like that. We have one category that's like real merch, fake merch. So it's like which of these pieces of merchandise are fake. And other ones are just like one of my favorite ones was one Jeremy researched and wrote was about like which of these like sequels, which of these is like a real sequel to like the Monster Mash. Like a guy who wrote the Monster Mash song, he just kept writing songs.
Yeah.
So
why he's done? He did it.
Yeah. So they were
perfection.
Like. I think there were like 4 options, and they were all true. So there was like the Monster Rap.
Yeah.
There was the Monster Swim.
Sure.
About like a monster pool party. It's all the same style as the original song.
Mid-90s, like in like industrial tinged Monster Mash that maybe had a rapper on the end.
Monster Step.
Can I ask you what are some of your more popular Hard Times headlines? I've probably seen them.
Me.
Let's play a game called Most Uncomfortable Question You Can Ask at Hard Times. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, what I find with headlines is they really hit when I say them out loud, slowly trying to remember them.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to remember. That's what I meant. I'm just kidding.
Dude, the one that... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's like when I made sure to memorize my 2 most popular ones just to have them to answer that question. And then the other day, I found myself slipping into the douchiest, like, thing ever where I went, but the one I really loved. And then I just, like, named an obscure one that nobody else liked. I'm a fucking idiot asshole, and I hate myself. Sorry,
it's never the one you really love that gets away from you, which is...
Yeah,
that's just how art.
Well, if you really love it, you'll let it go.
Oh man,
and if
it's meant to be.
And if it gets reported and blocked on Facebook as fake news, it was meant to be.
Yeah. The one I wrote that did the best, just like on Facebook, was the second article I wrote, which is really frustrating. Which was lucky airline passenger wins free spoken word concert for Jello Biafra.
That is the most perfectly like understandable. Like, yeah, that would happen.
Yeah,
like, that is
very believable. Misery. I forget who did the Photoshop job. It was a perfect image.
Everyone working on the Photoshop jobs crushes it. Like those things. Like I've had jokes where I'm like, I'm really proud of this, and I see the head or the picture, and I'm like, no, my joke served that picture. It was not the other way around. That's so perfect.
Yeah. And then
that's awesome with the
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, go. No,
all right. The other one is this one did insanely well on Tumblr, which I didn't even realize we had a presence on.
What, you have a presence on Tumblr?
Or maybe we don't. I don't know. But it got like 40,000 like reblogs.
Fuck. Yeah.
Wow. And then like it didn't do great on Facebook. It's so weird how the internet is. Yeah. It was these 2 Oakland punks helped turn a failing bike shop into a failed bike shop.
Yeah, no, it's great. God damn it!
And I like that. That one. That's probably my favorite one that actually did well.
That's great. Oh my fuck, dude.
But yeah,
what I love about, and this was like something that's humbling, but also like exciting about Hard Times, is that when you look at the shares that day or the likes or whatever, and you're like under 3,000.
Yeah,
that sucked. If I had anything get more than 100 shares on any other platform, it would be like the greatest day of my life.
It's weird how we'll just never be happy. I think that's what that speaks
of course
to. Because
I think
I
think that's what makes people better.
Yeah,
it makes people better.
Being miserable makes people better.
Well, maybe not being miserable. Like I feel like I'm well adjusted because I had I thought nobody's got a perfect upbringing. I had one that was pretty close to it. And because when I talk to other comics and they're like, yeah, I got into comedy because horrible thing. And I'm like, well, my parents didn't recognize that I had ADHD and it was kind of stressful in school. And I was like, no, I'm fine. So that's probably why everyone is funnier than me. But I know. I have to manufacture myself hatred.
No, the reason for that is this.
Okay, go on. It's just the jokes. Dude, and me and Mike did a couple mics this week. Did you do anything yesterday?
No.
Good. We did mics on Monday and Wednesday then. And the Monday one, dude, you fucking murdered it, which was great. Because it was
what was it? I don't even remember.
That was the one at the place in Who Gives a Shit, Maryland.
Yeah. Cinema Park.
Basically, a bunch of people.
That was a real show. That wasn't a mic.
That was a real show? Thanks for getting me on that show.
I got you. I'm an idiot. Yeah, the winner got money.
Yeah. Oh wow! No, I was so grateful. I just thought it was one of those. We have mics here. I'm sure you have them there in New York too, especially DC. That are mics that are they're open mics, but they're not really mics. They're showcases where a bunch of people are on a mailing list, and then the host picks who they want on the show, basically. I don't know. Anyway, we did that. So we did that show, and the place got pretty packed. A lot of them, I didn't feel like they.
That's great.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't feel like they saw. Didn't seem like a comedy audience. They just had. An audience
they were just some younger bar people there to see their friend.
Yeah, to their friend do comedy for the first time, and but they were cold as shit. The host, who's a fantastic host, was afterwards. He's so funny because he'll get on stage and he'll be like, he'll be like, he's very jovial in his like presence. And then if the audience sucks, he'll get off and he'll be like, those fucking pieces of shit. And then 2 minutes later, oh, I gotta go. He's like, hey, guys!
Yep, that's how it works.
Two-faced.
No, but no,
Two-faced.
honest. Yeah. But dude, like, old. And then the first comic went up after the host, and who, as I understand, is a pretty established like comic in his own right. And they were still... The dude, I didn't want to like name names because I'm about to say he had a bad set. I can tell you later because he's not going to know. But the guy got like crickets, and the jokes were solid. Like, just the audience was just very like cold or whatever. And then I got up and it was weird. It was like good couple minutes, not so great couple minutes, and then I closed really strong. And I've realized this audience, all they wanted to hear, like, there was some joke that the host said, and the joke was really good. But like during the setup, he says like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but something like "come in my pants." It wasn't even a punchline or whatever. It was just like it's part of the setup, and they lost their goddamn minds. Yeah, it wasn't even a joke. They thought it was the funniest fucking thing. Like, poopy pee pee. You should have opened with poo poo pee pee. That would have.
I haven't tried that again since the whole time. That's a great bit. I don't know. Every time I try stuff like too weird like that, it's not even a bit. All I do is say, yeah, I can describe it in 4 words. It's just poo poo pee pee. I just made like a video on Instagram.
Okay.
A song called "Fallen Is the Darkness," and this is it. Poo poo. Pee pee. Poo poo. Pee pee.
Here's my personal card. Keep doing it.
Poo poo.
Oh my god! No! No! Ah!
Poo poo.
Yeah.
You could definitely do that as like an avant-garde bit, and I guess not a museum.
I tried opening with it.
But you also walked out. You also went double avant-garde. You walked out on stage doing that, holding a skull.
Yeah.
This is not what he normally does. Like,
no, I'm doing that more and more when I can. Dude, I would go even more avant-garde.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got a few more layers of avant-garde I'd like to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the fucking crowd, dude. I was happy to like get what I got out of them. I mean, I like fluster. I'm only a year in. I'm still really new.
The problem I flustered on Monday was just volume. Nobody could hear you.
That's because you were in the back. Everybody in the front was like good, and when the people in the back shut up, everybody seemed okay. I appreciate you saying that. I flustered.
As you progress as a comedian, you'll learn like sometimes you gotta fucking scream.
I yelled tonight. Tonight I yelled because they were all talking over it, and they shut the fuck up.
Which I hate being like the guy that just screams over everybody, but like sometimes there's just nothing.
Well, what I did was I've got like I did a couple bits tonight that was fortunate that I was able to like turn up the body movements and turn up the volume on it, and it still didn't change like how the joke went down. Good. It would have been pretty lame if I did it in front of like a really captive crowd.
Right.
But like I would do it, and then it got the attention, and then I would like kind of go back into my normal like medium energy. But like no, that first, fuck, what was the thing with the? Oh, well, whatever. And that the first show on Monday, like you killed it though, because it was perfect. Because you had enough poo poo pee pee mixed with short jokes that like hit every single time. Like it was so perfect. But it was cool to watch that kind of audience like open up. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, Kyle, like how you experience like dealing with audiences like that. But watching an audience like figuring out what's going to make them open up and then seeing them open up is fucking insane.
Yeah, I wish I was good. I wish I was good at knowing what to do.
Where are you in your stand-up life?
I'm like, I don't know how to answer that.
How many years?
I've done it. We'll say 2.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So you're a baby, just like you're.
Yeah.
I'm a super baby.
But
he's got time.
Yeah.
He's got time. This guy's got time.
Sorry, I gotta blow my nose. Oh.
Still too old for Montreal. It's fine.
So you just right. So you just tell your jokes, like you write good jokes and tell them that consistently. That's weird. Why would you do that?
I
exclusively try to manipulate the crowd every night. What?
I've been trying to do more like reactive business because I've gotten really good at predicting whether or not things will go well based on like what I want to do. But it's like then making the pivot to like change the outcome is still like what I'm learning. I'll be like, they're not gonna like this, but I'm not. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how to address like a cold crowd, but like remain myself because like. Certain people do it, and they'll just come out and be like, "Hey, yeah, I'm crazy. You're a dipshit. You're hey, what fucking you look like a rapist, haha." And everyone's laughing
because it's just like he's got a child molester mustache.
Yeah, and it's like that's just like
are the lesbian haircut jokes really popular up there in New York right now?
You can get a laugh with that at like the clubs.
110% of Baltimore comedians have to do at least one lesbian haircut joke.
Wow.
Or you get tarred and feathered.
Oh man.
Hey, I've been calling myself Spock with an ear reduction surgery. How's that doing? It's bombed twice, so maybe I look better than I thought.
Hey, that's not bad. I used to do a joke that implied I was ugly, and someone that came up to after me after the show was just like, "You're not ugly enough to do that joke."
Yeah.
And he's like, I guess, well, thank you.
Twice.
Thank you for telling me my joke's bad, and my face is good.
That's one thing that like I noticed for me. Like I have I don't know if I do right here, but definitely in person and like from most of the angles, I have a very punchable face. And I like the best jokes that I have are ones where I'm like kind of a douchebag. And you gave me some of the best advice, which I was shocked that you gave it to me because it was so unlike kind of what you told me. You were like, you need more confidence, normal advice. Then you go, actually be arrogant. And that worked so fucking well for me. Like,
no, dude, believe it or not, that's what I do too.
Really? Like, you come across as likable.
I know it comes shit. It's like because I have like such a stated like kind of personality or whatever. But like if I go out there with like the attitude of I hope they like me.
Oh yeah. Then
instead of like fuck these people, I'm just gonna do what I want. Like I think in life in general, you have to kind of be arrogant, especially if you're like a decent person, because otherwise everyone's just gonna take advantage of you.
Yeah,
dude, that's like Patrice O'Neill had a great thing when, because he used to walk people before his shows. He'd look at his screen. He could read people so well. He'd go, "You're not going to like me. Get the fuck out. Bouncer, get them the fuck out. They've been talking all night. Get them out. Like, whatever it is. I don't like your hat. Get out." And he was getting, on Opie and Anthony, they asked him, like, why do you do that? Like, the other day, you walked 15 people. And he was saying, he was like, because the thing is with the crowd is that when you're going to, if you're struggling, and the crowd, or if the crowd is struggling because they're just a shitty crowd or that the chemistry's not right and you're doing all the right stuff, whatever it is, either way, people have such a shitty nature that no one wants to help you out. They just want to drown. And he goes, if I'm going to drown, I'm taking everybody with me. I'm going to fucking burn this room down. I'm not going to ever let them get me to feel like, please like me.
Right.
And I wish I had the balls to do anything similar to that. But I have been telling myself before every show to like comment. Like I saw Rich Voss a couple years ago, and here's how he opened his set. It's the third show of a Sunday night after he'd been there since Thursday. Most half full. Most of the people there like got comp tickets from the hotel that the show was at. And he just looks around, and here's how he opens his set. He goes, "Ugh." That's the vibe. Without saying it, that's the vibe I want to come across as for shitty crowds. Like, not I'm upset that you're not laughing, but I'm just like, I'm disgust. That's what it's like. I'm just disgusted by you. Like you disgust me. That's the vibe I want to communicate. Fuck balls. I had a thing. I don't know why I don't just shut up for 2 seconds.
So Kyle, what's your comedy like?
Where do you get inspiration for your material?
How do I?
Do you write your own material, or?
I had this. My grandfather left me this book of 101 Pollock jokes, and I've just been doing that for 2 years. No,
I bet it kills.
It would probably, for the right crowd, a stunt like that could get really well. I've been trying to lean more into like whimsy, or just I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out like who I am.
That sounds like one of them fancy words.
Just like
so you mean gay?
Yeah, like a dark whimsy. like Labyrinth.
Oh, that sounds hilarious.
Spaghetti God, basically.
Spaghetti God.
Callback.
I don't know. When I got into comedy, I definitely like consider it as like I'm gonna have all these opinions and people are gonna want to hear them. It's like that's not true.
Turns out
they don't.
Turns out you can go
Turns out I have no opinions.
And you can go to the first comment on any Reddit page and find your opinion.
Yeah.
There it was.
So I've just been trying to be more silly, and it's just been experimenting with being more silly.
You get super like, I mean, not always because you have so many articles anyway, but like in your Hard Times articles, you have a lot of more, I guess you could call it absurdism or like alternate universe. Like that's what I love. Anytime punking the news is very fun, like punkifying the news, but punkifying reality. Obviously, I won't say this because it was just posted today, but I don't know if you saw the thing right before you started this. Matt posted up soon, and it is such a perfect example of just taking reality and making a punk twist to it, and I fucking love that. And
I didn't see that, but
yeah,
I'll take your word for it and check it out later.
Yeah. I'll link the article because this will come out probably after the article. Anyway, it's just the kind of shit's really cool, and that makes perfect sense why you're looking towards that in your stand-up. Yeah. Like that's cool. Is that like? Do you find that? And this is just me, and you both answer whatever. But like I found that there are certain jokes I'll tell or types of jokes that let me realize, oh, that either combination of words, tone of voice, or that subject matter, I can do that joke and have that same joke succeed more than 90% of comics. Or I could have a joke and my joke would bomb where 90% of comics it would do well.
Yeah, all the fucking time.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so weird though, because you go into this thinking jokes are jokes, but then you realize there's some people who can do some jokes. I don't mean the obvious ones like don't do racial jokes if you're not of blah blah blah. Like don't do this or that. Yeah. It's more like it's like if I go up and do like in front of my friends, I use a lot of wordplay when I make jokes, just when we're fucking around, and even on the podcast. But like in stand-up, if I do a wordplay joke, I'm gonna get punched in my face. Probably not, but like no one's gonna laugh, and that feels just as bad. But like that shows I'm a real pussy, by the way. If I think those two things are anything. Sorry. Yeah, but then there's other jokes where I'm like when I make fun of like all the like kind of the darker stuff, where like I'll make like jokes about like being beaten down by I'm 30 with a kid and a wife and a job and my dreams fail, blah blah blah, like failing in music. I make jokes about that, and I feel like they're only even the ones that I think are just like mediocre. People love that shit, yeah. And I think it's because it's coming from someone who looks and sounds like me. Jack, what are your experiences with that? Like with your personal acts and jokes, if you have any on hand.
Well, for me, I just can't get away with anything that's at all edgy or controversial, even if it's like 1/10 of what the guy right before me did, you know? I think just because like I have, like if you have this like outrageous bad boy persona that you can like say like, like kind of douchey stuff and get away with it.
But you
like,
had INXS posters.
Yeah, if you're me, they're just going to think like, he might really be a white supremacist or like.
But you've been getting really good at using soft language to tell like edgy jokes, but it's so obvious you're being ironic because the language you're using is more intelligent than any actual like dumb part. Like I won't say the bit, but the bit you have about like starving kids. Like it's very, if you take it at face value without the irony, it's like a super like edgy joke. But you are so like you're so like almost professorial about it, and like so even keeled that you're like, oh, this is obviously irony. And
yeah, that's one that I'm still not positive if I can do or not. I wrote that probably joke 3 years ago and threw it away because I thought it was like too offensive. But I'm kind of I don't know. A friend of mine who's like super PC and sensitive, like told me she loved that joke.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I'll tell you, it's weird. Like one thing that I'm actually proud of, kind of in stand-up comedy, is like when I started just like 5 or 6 years ago, like it was so much more misogynist. Like it's way like more decent these days, honestly.
Yeah.
I've just noticed that in the last year. Like it's really like Like I used to be able to be like, oh, I'm not one of those like misogynist, like rape joke comedians, and now it's like, well, hardly anybody is anymore.
Yeah, I was like, well, the thing has shifted, so it's What about you, Kyle? Have you ever? What's your experience with that? Is the whimsy like killing it?
I'm still trying to figure out like how to talk. It's just like I've just like noticed like the way, like the rhythm and like meter of like that I'll say something with like has such an influence.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
And I'm trying to I don't know. I'm still figuring that out. I definitely, in terms of subject matter, I can't really talk about sex.
You're like blushing now.
Yeah, like it's just like, even though I try to joke about it, it's just like, I don't know. It's just like I must look visibly uncomfortable, even if I feel like I have a funny point. I'm just like.
Have you ever heard the Def Comedy Jam bit that opens with, now how many of y'all like sex? And then he tells a story about like just vividly banging some woman in the Empire, at the top of the World Trade Center, and then it goes into this weird like almost street joke that is just I gotta send this to you, and if you haven't heard it, it's insane.
I haven't heard it. That sounds amazing.
I'd seen
then
it
I'll
when
just
I was
go do that.
Yeah, I'd seen it when I was a kid, but like I have to give credit to not like any of them are going to hear this, although you probably know one of them, the Come Town podcast.
Oh yeah,
it's a. Which, by the way, the best way to introduce people to that podcast is I like to go. I was listening to it was a podcast. It was a comedian's. Well, more like an honest exchange of ideas with humorous and entertaining individuals. Oh, what's it called? Come Town. CUMTOWN. Come Town. But they like bring that. They reference that shit all the time, and I finally went back and listened to it, and it is the most insane bit. And every time I hear it. And I'll talk about sex. I won't talk about sex in a positive way. I'll just like make jokes about me being bad at it. Like that's I'm comfortable with that area. But like even listening to that guy do it, and it's a Def Jam comic, and he's crushing with this audience. I still am just uncomfortable in my own skin listening to it. It's so goddamn ridiculous.
What to start a set like that? Like,
well,
here like sex.
He started it. It was even worse. It was even worse because he goes into it and like now I'm just doing the Come Town bit, by the way. Like he comes out and he does the thing that like Patton Oswalt used to make fun of comics for doing, like on his albums. Talk about like the buckle your seatbelts, motherfuckers. It's about to get real. How many y'all like sex?
Oh my god!
And then everybody goes insane. Speaking of one thing that I've been trying to do lately. Oh, actually, no. Dude, my voice in regular conversation has drastically changed since I started doing stand-up. Like it's sharper, and I hit words differently,
and I hit people,
and it's like.
I'm drinking more.
I'm actually drinking less.
I can't sleep.
I don't have enough time to drink as much as I used to when I didn't have comedy to do. But like, I will like with friends. I'm funnier now. It's not even like it's worlds apart.
So you don't consider us friends?
Nope. But and then with coworkers, I actually feel like I get more respect because I'm like talking even now, just talking sharper, kind of like that.
Yeah.
Where before I'd be like, really, hey everybody, like it's. But my wife always thinks I'm mad.
Oh no!
Like I'll be like, yeah, can you pass the milk? It's like, what the?
That does kind of sound a little.
But that's how I would deliver a joke.
Yeah, you pass the milk.
I'm so used to. Does it sound like that? That's hilarious.
It's exactly how you sound.
Well, dude. Well, one thing I saw. I don't know if you catch many like shows in New York, but I know he's a regular like the Cellar and stuff. But I saw a Mark Normand headline.
Oh, he's great.
In Baltimore recently. He's so good. I've now seen him and Joe List twice each. I love their podcast.
They're great.
Amazing. But like seeing Mark Normand, like I was front row center in Magoobies. I don't know what was it, 300 people. I don't know, whatever. But I was like front row center, like right up on the stage, and I could see him real clear. And the amount of like it's so funny, like the jokes were all great, but the amount of facial expressions and body language that he used, I kept like thinking back, like in between bits, I'd go, would that have gotten all those jokes? Probably would have gotten laughs, but I don't know if the audience would be rolling in their seats like they were if he didn't do that hand motion or if he didn't make his way across the stage. And it's so crazy seeing all those little things that now when I watch like open mic or even like, you know, the next local showcase comics, I notice there's so little going on outside of the jokes, except for like when there's people who I'm just like, wow, they're doing a lot of stuff on stage and there's no jokes, or they're doing nothing on stage and the jokes are great. And it's just like seeing somebody like Mark Normand, it makes me go like, oh, that's what a headliner looks like. Someone who can, even if like your physical comedy.
It depends on who you are, though.
Oh, that's fair.
I don't plan on ever getting like super physical on stage.
But I don't even mean he's not that physical. I mean little hand gestures, little facial expressions, which you absolutely do.
So?
I've seen you lean into crowds and do like the perfect facial expression that like the joke might have gotten like, haha, but because you did the thing, they're just like, ah.
Really?
That's my impression of an audience. Oh, I know it. Oh my God! This is the Monday show that we did. This is the story I wanted to bring up. I open my set with this joke, and in the joke, I have to find some girl in the crowd to make reference to, like for the way the joke goes along. And in the middle of the joke, it's like one quick line. It can be any girl, but I don't like it to do it to girls or women who do not have. Like I want to make sure they're not there with a guy. Because that kind of like, I don't want to throw a wrench into this like quick little like part of the bit. Right. And so there were, before I went up, I scoured the room. There were 2 girls right up front and they weren't with any guys. Every other girl in the place was like with a guy. So I was like, oh, they're perfect. They're right in front. And so I'll just gesture to them, say my line and then move on. And so I did it, but I didn't look at them until I gestured to them. And the joke involves me saying, I'd love to sleep with you. And then, you know, like, then I like buy it back a second later. And when I motioned to them, I looked, 2 of the butchest lesbians you've ever seen. And they were not happy with me going.
Oh, no.
And I turned, and for the rest of my set, all I kept thinking would be like, how funny would that be if I just doubled down on that? And then I was just just been like, bunch of lesbos in the blah, blah. Just been so over ironic with it, but it would have never gone over. And I just kept thinking about how funny it would have been to make everybody mad at me, have the host mad at me, Mike going up next to this shithole room after me.
Oh, man.
And I could not stop like laughing to myself the entire set. Anyway, that was the little story I was just to tell you. All right, so Dick Ball's getting tired. No, we're approaching an hour, so it's perfect. Cool. Do either of you have any tidbit stories, anything you wanted to add before I ask you guys about your clothes?
Kyle?
No, I got nothing.
All right, sweet. Well, Kyle, where can we find you? Twitter, stand-up, articles?
You check me out, twitter.com. My Twitter handle is Kyle Erf, KYLEERF. That's pretty much it. Everything else sort of flows from there. Got some really good articles coming up in the hard times I'm very happy for. So check those out. And come see the Hard Time Showcase in New York City at Tinder Trap in lovely Brooklyn. Our next show is...
You tell me and then I have to comment on that.
Is March 6th, but look it up on Facebook.
Maybe I should have just talked and then you would have looked it up. Did you tell me you moved from a location that was a fire hazard to a place called Tinder Trap?
Yes.
Are you kidding me right now?
Oh, it's awesome. The new venue is great. There's a half pipe in the back. There's a half pipe on stage.
That is the best place, yeah.
It's the dumbest shit. It's it's the best venue I've ever had a show in.
Sweets. Mike?
Look out for the Confessional podcast. Find me at Mike Moran Wood, WOULD.
I love how we've said Twitter so many times, but we still do at.
Right,
like, you can't, that's never going to go away. Well, you can find my website at http://www.eric-tries-too-hard.com.
Check out my MySpace, too.
Well, you're on now.
I just pimped it.
Oh, you pimped your MySpace? Yep. With your goth twinkly shit? Nice.
Oh, right. Dude, rotating skulls.
Dripping down. Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah. Slipknot MIDI.
Slipknot MIDI! That's hilarious. Fuck, I forgot about MIDI songs. Dude, you can find me at Eric Tries Too Hard, 2 on Twitter, 2, the number 2. Which immediately someone's like, that's trying too hard. And I was like, okay, well, you're in on the joke, I guess. Asshole. And you can find my articles at thehardtimes.net. I believe they got their search function back up, so you can just look up mine or Kyle's names if you're curious about what we wrote. I love how it took like 6 hours. Like Hard Times Writers, we always check our shares on the page to see how the articles are doing. And we go to the search function sometimes. I do to invoice stuff because I'm like, what the fuck did I write? And then they were both the shares were reset and the search was gone. Within like an hour, everyone was posting, hey, just curious where those things went.
Hey, how are people gonna know people saw this article?
Oh my God. Anyway, and I feel like I wanted to say something nice about you, Mike. Do you pitch? Half the people who listen to this are in Baltimore. Do you have any like shows that you want to promote coming up? Or like the places you frequent?
The places
catch a drop in?
I don't know. Not a whole lot in February. I forget. I'm hosting a Black History Month show. I'm not joking.
I know, that's why we're laughing.
It'll be, I think, every Saturday of the month at the Single Care Theater around 7 o'clock.
Nice.
So, and, I'll be around.
God damn, that's across the street from the Auto Bar.
And then you and I will have a show at the Auto Bar when?
March 22nd.
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That's our little punk club we throw shows at. It's not a big deal. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Yeah, Kyle, don't feel guilty at all, but I come up to New York every couple months.
Oh, we're both pretty solid the next 2 months, but yeah.
Okay. So you'll call me. So I'm not going to call you. You'll call me. This is what's going to happen.
No, I'll definitely. No, you can definitely be on the show. We just had Graham on this month.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's super
I'm gonna
cool.
hit stop broadcast. He's gonna be like, "You don't ever fucking do that to a person." I do it for the bit, but if it works out, and by the way, I'll send you a video first because I'm not gonna risk the integrity.
No, that's cool.
Of the Hard Times brand.
We'll just give you like a couple minutes. We'll just tell you.
You'll book me at the old venue, and then lock the doors when I'm inside, and set fire to the place.
You can
it'll be fine. All my friends
for the half pipe.
Yeah, all my friends will get all burned to death. All my friends will get famous. That's how it's gonna happen. Because the world is American Idol. If you have a story about a dead friend, you can get on TV.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, all right. I don't know how to end these things, so I love you guys. Is that too much? Not enough?
I love you too, Eric.
Thank you. Thank you. Mike, you heard what Kyle said?
Yes, I heard him.
Okay. All right, you guys have a good night, and thanks for listening. Kyle, I'll talk to you on the interwebs, and I love you guys. Bye.